Obviously I'm very excited about Cheltenham's half marathon coming up. First half is very flat, isn't it? The second half, it's hilly, and everyone talks about the race course being really tough, and it is. It's barren and there's a lot more hills in there, so it is a real challenge, and there are a lot of people that enter it nice and early with a charity, a free entry through a charity, and they just don't get themselves prepared enough, and often it can turn people off running altogether. You do something like that, you show up on race day and you just realise you've bitten off a lot more than you can chew. So I don't want that to happen to any of our runners, okay, and that's why I want to set up some squads. I want you guys to be able to follow my instruction. There are lots of plans out there to help you finish a half marathon, but I think mine can be a lot more personal, okay, and especially given that most plans don't come with any sort of support. There's no one to ask questions, there's no one to change the plan if you go on holiday, or if you do get some kind of niggle which interrupts, maybe you can't get one of your most important runs in, okay. With the plans that I'll be able to provide, we can adapt them, okay, to basically cater for any issue. If you get sent away on work for 3 weeks to the Middle East and you're not going to be able to run at all, then we can still make it work. We've still got 13 weeks, well, from this weekend coming, okay, so it's still a fair old way away, but there's also a lot of work to be done for some people, especially if they've not actually run 5k non-stop. Now, for those people, I'm not necessarily going to guarantee them that they're going to be able to run the entire Cheltenham half marathon without stopping. Some of our members did the Cheltenham Challenge, and they did a lot of preparation for it, but they ended up walking some parts. And at the end of the day, does it really matter if you have to walk part of a race? There are a lot of guys that go out too quick and they end up having to walk, and they can be very experienced runners. All right, so it's important not to think, if I'm going to do the half, I've got to run it all. We had Annie doing the half marathon at the Cheltenham Challenge the other day. Okay, she walked the whole thing. All right, and to a full-on runner, he might say, well, that's not much of an achievement, but everyone's different, everyone has their own challenge, and a lot of people who did end up walking big sections of that event would have still been just as sore as the people that ran the whole thing. Okay, so what I'm saying is it should be an event that anyone can do. Now I'm actually going to get Annie to come up and have a chat, just to shed some experience on why she's going to do the Cheltenham half, okay, and she's not just going to walk it.
Yeah, on Sunday I did the Cheltenham half, and I walked it all the way round. It was the third time I've actually done it. It was possibly the hardest one I've actually done as well because of the mud. So why am I doing Cheltenham half? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I've done lots and lots of walks for charity. I do all my walks for charity, and I will be doing the Cheltenham half for Alcohol Concern. I did Cheltenham Challenge for Mind. But all the routes I've done, I've always walked them. I've never ran. In fact, I've never ran full stop at school, even if I was asked to do a couple of laps around the field. No. I'd always say, no, I don't do running, don't do running. And then one day, my daughter, who's now 18, she just said, well, why don't you do running? And I thought, I've got no answer for that. I don't know why I don't do running. So that little seed was sown. And then a couple of years later, I thought, I'm going to have a go. And I started doing C to 5k by myself, but the motivation was lacking. So then I joined Connor. And now I feel that I can do the half marathon slowly and definitely not running the whole way through. I have no expectations of running the whole way round. But I figure that if I can walk 13.1 miles with, I think it's a 380 metre elevation, and it's quite steep as well, in 5.5 hours, I think I can possibly run it a little bit faster without the elevation and everything. So yeah, 13 weeks, I'm hoping to eventually cross the finish line of the Cheltenham half for the first time. Hopefully not last. Thank you. Thank you.
It is a big opportunity, okay. The Cheltenham half, I think it is a great race, and I really love the option to be able to run through Cheltenham's streets without having to worry about cars. You just don't really run up through Montpellier on a standard run, and if you do, then there's a lot of traffic around.